The Great Alabama Trip of 2024. I just want to start by thanking Jeremy and Stephanie for having me down and, make sure that everything was available for me. It was amazing. So, on April 2nd, 2024, I started in Omaha. And it was pouring rain. Snowstorm. And it wasn't very good visibility. But the wind was blowing me straight down. Blowing straight from north-northwest, just straight on my back, all the way down. Drove through turned off at St. Joseph because the weather was starting to freeze down in Kansas City, so took 36 instead. Made it all the way to St. Louis. And went downtown to a little area and just skated around just a little bit. And then I ran into a few guys and I asked them, I say, what time's the rush hour around here? And he's like, right now. And I'm like, do I got time to leave? They're like, if you're going to go, it's now or never. So drove through this part of East St. Louis, which is really neat. Really neat bridges. Made it out just before rush hour hit. It was perfect. Went down through Nashville. Illinois. It was night and day difference from East St. Louis to Southern Illinois. Night day difference in driving, scenery, everything. From this part of the trip down was just beautiful. Ended up staying at the Quality Inn in Dyersburg. Watched some Harry Potter. And then, how was it? The next day, got up, took off. McDonald's, you gotta go. McDonald's makes the trip happen. Pella, Verona, Aberdeen. First stop that day was Tuscaloosa. And that was the most relaxed town that I've been to probably in my lifetime. Wonderful weather that day. I went down and skated. Around the stadium first. They're doing construction on the inside. I saw an open gate, and I said I'll loop around and come back in the second time, and they were literally waiting for me and pointed at me when I came around the other side. So couldn't go in, but got to see a little bit of the field. went down to their downtown and skated like their city hall and then I took off down to Montgomery for the night. Stop by Kohl's, go put on a whole bunch of free cologne, and then take off. Not a bad way to use cologne on a road trip. Then, hit a Dreamland there too. Oh wow. I went. I guess I didn't realize Dreamland Barbecue was in Montgomery. That was the. That's crazy. The Dreamland Barbecue, that was the best barbecue I had the whole trip. That was the best. Red mustard. I'm gonna figure out how to make that stuff. Went and skated around downtown Montgomery. That was a really cool town. Really cool. Kind of like a vacant downtown area. Just a lot of open space. It was cool. Then I drove over and stayed at the Sleep Inn, Montgomery East. That was the best hotel. The water pressure was like 3 gallons a second. It was like the strongest, best shower I've ever had in my life. The next day was the first real good day. Got to go see Jeremy that day. So had to kill some time because Jeremy had a half day work. So I could have just stayed and watched TV, but I got too excited, so I got to town pretty early. First was I went down to Auburn University and just went down and skated around the campus and all around. I was going fast enough on my skateboard that they said I was biking around it, which is pretty funny. They have a very neat campus. It's really integrated well. Really fun areas to go to. Where's that? I went to the Auburn Mall, kill time for a little bit, and then went over to Bow and Arrow to get some more barbecue food. And then I went over to I think that's it. gracious. I went over to the Fine Arts Museum that they have over there in town. And ate some barbecue in their parking lot, which was just fantastic. It was like 70 degrees, like 3-mile-an-hour wind, bright and sunny. All the trees are green down there. And then drove over and met up with my bud Jer. He showed me around my place. He took my bags in, put my bags into my guest bedroom. Pretty sweet. He showed me around his place. He showed me all of his pets. Showed me Dottie, Vivian, and Pretty Boy. We did a lot of catching up that night, and it was neat seeing the family come home. Friday, we went to the state park, which is basically in his backyard. I might have taken the long way to get there. Okay, so we parked down here, and it's a really cool state park. It's got all these BMX bikes tracks going through the woods, and really neat waterfall. So we parked up here and walked down, and there's a waterfall right here. And then we crossed down a whole bunch of rocks down this river all the way down to here, and then the water just opened up. Couldn't go any further, so we got up back onto this trail up here, and then we walked that back up. I'm not 100% sure on how we got back, but I think there's a trail that came back up towards where the car was at. That was really neat. Saturday was A-Day. A-Day for Auburn. So we took off that day and went to a Tiger Transit pickup station, but they were nowhere to be seen. So we headed down to the stadium ourselves. And where did we park? There's Jordan there. Here. Had to pull down on campus. Got to do a little off-roading, do some parking. Walked past a guy that was doing his little hangout, and then we made our way to the stadium. Which was awesome. So Jordan-Hare Stadium set up a little bit differently, where there's no wasted space in between the field and the seats. So, like when you're sitting first row of anywhere in the stadium, like we sat at the corner of the end zone, and I mean, it was like a short stone throws away from the end zone. And I was telling Jeremy, I was like, even if you go up to the gates at UNL, it's like all the way up to the gate on the field, you're still farther away from the end zone than you were sitting in the seats at that stadium.
Today's flight contains the message of conservation for all birds of prey through the Southeastern Raptor Center at the Auburn University College of Veterinary Medicine and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service.
So it was really neat. It actually seats more people than Memorial Stadium by a couple thousand, but it seems a lot smaller inside. So we watched the first half of the spring game from this side, and the band was sitting over here, so we made our way over to the band side. Stroller parking, dog. And their band was just fantastic. just full volume the whole time. Unbelievable band.
Against kick is good. Vice pass is incomplete. Third down. Robert Lewis.
It was so cool going there. What was it? Made my way down to the concession stand, got myself a Chick-fil-A. It was the best one I've ever had in my life. It was super good. And then we had a fantastic Saturday night. The Final Four was on that night. So the day started with Jeremy getting the smoker prepared to get a pork butt going, and then we smoked that all night. We smoked that thing. I think probably smoked that thing for 11 hours. It was so good. It was so good. So smoking the pork butt, so having that smell of the smoker going all day, and then having our hors d'oeuvres, snacks, and then getting to chill like old times. The best Saturday I had in a long time. It was very, very good for the Toads' morale. I just want to say again, thank you so much, Jeremy and Stephanie and Jack and Phoebe and Dottie and Vivian and Pretty Boy for thanking you for just sharing your home with me. It was an amazing trip, and I'll never forget it. Thank you so much. Sunday was the longest I'd ever driven in one shot in my life. It was Sunday was 645 miles, 10.5 hours driving from Auburn, Alabama, up through Mississippi, through Tennessee, Arkansas, and then I stopped. Where did I stop? Springfield. I stopped in Springfield, Missouri to stay the night. Green State Hotel. It was the best hotel that I stayed in that night, but the soap the soap literally smelled like a cat's filled litter box. It smelled, I couldn't get over how it smelled, literally like a poop and urine filled kitty litter biscuit. But it was the hotel itself was the nicest one that I stayed in, but I couldn't get over that smell. It was very unique soap. And then today I woke up in Springfield, Missouri, and I got the heck out of there because everybody experiencing the eclipse, it looked like the state fair was coming to town for about 100 miles. It was a little intense watching the people roll in. Made it through Kansas City. Google rerouted me through a bunch of ways to get through, which really helped. Traffic was pretty bad through there. And the rest of the trip was pretty smooth sailing. Got home right around where the eclipse started, and I really felt that Lincoln felt different. I couldn't understand why everything looked so weird when I got back, but it was right when the eclipse was going.
We're live.
Coming from you live at the Mormont house.